Officer needs help call. So they are, oh, shots fired. So this is not the ending that we were wanting at all. We're hearing now an officer needs help, shots fired call inside that building. So I would assume that may have been the, again, I'm going to stay away from any assumptions because we just report facts. Right now, all we know is the shots were fired, and we haven't heard anything about that suspect, but it was an officer needs help call, and then it came out as shots being fired. You can see the employees backing off, the number of officers running there. I should have been a cue for me that something is going on down there. Again, this is all a pursuit termination in the downtown Los Angeles area, right near Pico and Paloma. And again, that suspect ran inside this building. They did talk about this suspect possibly having a gun earlier on in the pursuit, but they could not confirm that. So now we're hearing shots were fired. Copy all. We are hearing that shots were fired, and you can see a number of those officers running inside that building. Again, this was that suspect from that pursuit ran inside that building. Then we heard an officer needs help call, and then the suspect from that pursuit ran inside that building. Then we heard an officer needs help call, and then you could see that large response. Not sure about the condition of the suspect or the officer, but right now, number of LAPD officers swarming that building. Again, this is that pursuit termination, and that suspect may or may not have been injured at the end, but you can see a number of officers walking back out. So this is going to be what they say a Code 4 situation, as no, not the suspect in custody, but apparently there's no problem for the public right now, but the number of officers walking outside, and again, just by their demeanor, I can almost tell you that it is not an officer that was injured. Again, though, don't know about that suspect, but it's all happening here in the downtown Los Angeles area. This is going to be at the corner of Pico and Paloma. And again, this was a pursuit termination, that vehicle coming to a stop where it actually struck a parked car. That driver jumping out. Apparently there were others inside that vehicle as well. Either that or the officers were opening up those doors. That driver running inside this building right here, and then something happened. Shots were fired. Officer needs help call. And now you can see officers outside. We haven't seen that suspect come out. But then again, I also have not heard anything about a need for an ambulance, even if that suspect was mortally injured. They would still be calling for an ambulance. Those officers are not doctors, so they're going to have to call an ambulance regardless. We'll keep an eye on it. But again, pursuit termination here in the downtown Los Angeles
Hey, Stu,
area.
it's Roxy. Can you hear me? Stu?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Stu?
Hey, Roxy, sorry about that. Now I can actually hear you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I know there's a lot going on. Okay, so we were watching as this pursuit was on, and then we did see that suspect ditch the car, run into that business. We saw a number of officers flood into that business. Shots were fired, and now we're watching these officers exit this facility, and we always go back to judging the body demeanor and just the urgency they have and what they are doing. We don't know exactly what happened inside, but why don't you begin from the beginning and just tell us what transpired to this point?
Well, if we want to do, Roxy, do we want to start all the way from when this pursuit started, or
start from the beginning and just tell us what?
Copy off from what this pursuit actually started in like the mid-cities area. Was following a stolen vehicle. That's going to be the one that you see right there. When officers got behind it, they waited for their backup and that air unit, meaning the helicopter, to get overhead. That's just procedure. But then when they tried to light them up on the freeway, that vehicle appeared. It looked like it was going to pull over. I thought for sure it was. Slowed down, kind of got off the freeway, but then there was that moment of opportunity, and that driver took it, really putting the foot down, getting into speeds of over 100 miles an hour on that 10 freeway. Then it turned into a longer pursuit, many nail-biting moments as this vehicle ran just about every red light, getting very close to a lot of pedestrians, driving on the wrong side of the road and staying on side streets. Then it came to this location that you see here eventually, and this is going to be in the downtown Los Angeles area, in the districts, and then made that wide turn and collided with that vehicle that you see there. That door popped open, that driver ran out and made his way into probably the first open door that they saw, which was this building here. Now officers in pursuit got out of their vehicles, and they ran on foot inside to that building. Then we heard that the officer needs help call and shots fired. That's not what you want to hear at the end of a pursuit, definitely, and of course happening inside that building. Now, we don't know the condition of that suspect, but we can tell by the demeanor of the officers that there was no officer injured. And right now I saw actually crime tape going up, and that's red crime tape that you see right there. That's usually the center of this of what happened. You'll see the yellow crime tape, and the red one, that's going to be the spot where they're basically going to say nobody's allowed in here or out of here. What they're waiting for now, I would venture to say, is going to be for an ambulance to show up at this location to check out that suspect, which I believe, I do not have confirmation, we believe that it was a suspect that was injured. And again, this all coming to an end out here in the downtown Los Angeles area.
Yeah, I mean, with these things, we have to wait and see, and we just follow the developments, and we try to gauge by body language and what's going on down below for us to get a sense of what's happening until we have confirmation. But I think it is fair to say, judging by how the officers below are behaving and their body language, that whatever happened inside, and likely an officer was not injured. We are waiting, though, to see if an ambulance does pull up. We're talking about a really big area that we covered here in just the last few minutes.
You know what? I'm sorry, I have to push a button here. So what's going on? What we're just finding out right now is that there was no officer injured. We got that from the LAPD airship, and that there was a weapon involved. That's all they're going to say right now. And we are also confirming that the suspect is down inside that building. An ambulance has been called. Now we're waiting for that ambulance to arrive. But again, you can see that red tape down there. That's usually a sign where very limited people, officers, are allowed in and out of, as that is like the core center of the crime scene. Again, we can't say for sure what's going on inside that building, but we did get some of that all that information I just passed along from a law enforcement, being the helicopter that is LAPD helicopter that is here with us. So that is pretty solid information. Again, no officers injured, and a suspect is down after shots were fired inside this building. Again, though, they also were talking about a weapon, and apparently that weapon was stolen. That one, I'm not 100% on how they would know that, but again, they're saying it was a weapon involved, and with that suspect, and it's all happening out here in the downtown Los Angeles area. One suspect down with shots fired after a pursuit.
No, this was a stolen vehicle pursuit, and it is interesting that they are saying that that weapon was likely stolen. What kind of vehicle is this? What's in the back there? I'm trying to, is that like a bike? What is that?
There you got a mini bike down there, and then you also have a motorized, what almost would pass as a moped for now, but you've got a mini bike and then a motorized bicycle back there. This is a large four-door Dodge Ram truck. I probably would venture to say 2020-ish. I can't say for sure, but again, this vehicle is a large truck with a very big engine, and this thing was moving along at a very fast pace, and again, very dangerous pursuit. This was not one of those ones where you just kind of looked at it and just was like, oh gosh. This thing was moving at 70 miles an hour through very, very tight neighborhoods in the mid-cities area, and then when it got to the districts, it didn't even slow down, many times on the wrong side of the street, many times very close to pedestrians. But in the end, it made that wide turn right there, slowed down. Don't know if it was the plan, but that it did collide with that parked vehicle. The driver jumped out, started running. Officers stayed in their vehicles and got very, very close. We watched that suspect live on television run inside this building with officers in foot pursuit afterwards. And then, of course, we heard those tragic words that there were shots, officer needs help, shots fired. And then the number of officers swarming the area, and right now, you can see it right there. We know for a fact no officers injured, but again, we're also still waiting for a possible ambulance to arrive here on scene.
Okay, this has been quite an intense pursuit. It ended with what you just said, Stu. So this is going to be, this is going to take quite a while as far as an investigation is concerned because of the wide variety of areas we covered. You have two crime scenes essentially where that vehicle came to a stop, where that suspect jumped out, ran into that business, and that is where those shots were fired, and that is where we're hearing that the suspect is down. So it's going to take a while to figure out what's going on. People who obviously work or live in this area will be impacted, so be mindful of of that. We do have Christina Gonzalez on her way to this incident, and she's going to get the latest updates. We're going to cover this extensively and have much more coming up this evening. Fox 11, 5 o'clock news. Stu and the crew, thank you so much.